Hello friends, Ravneet Bhalla welcomes you back to her channel where I share healthy recipes. You have heard a lot about oats raisin cookies, and if you're yet to try out one recipe from the internet, I challenge you to try out this recipe that I'm going to share with you all. What makes this recipe, oats raisin cookies recipe, special is of course that it comes from Ravneet Bhalla, and it's different from what you have been looking for in other recipes online on the internet. So I will not be discussing what I have done in this recipe because that is what you should be watching in my video, but I can say is it is a very healthy recipe for kids and elders alike, and you and everyone in the family are literally going to fall in love with it. And I'll give a taste test to this. This is how these cookies look like. They are packed with nutrition and they are of course yummy. Look how they look. They have all the tidbits and bits and nuts. And of course, another thing I have made with the same recipe is whatever was left, I have made oats crisp with the leftovers. I'll be sharing that recipe too. So you will have two recipes in one go. So enjoy these cookies. I'll show you how they taste. They are crispy and oh so yum, and of course healthy. So let's get started with the recipe. So you need half cup minus 2 tablespoons of jaggery powder. You may take half cup. You may substitute the sweetener, that is jaggery, with any dry sweetener of choice barring sugar, because I don't suggest using refined sugar, so you can use any other natural sweetener of choice. Add 2 to 3 green cardamom or flavor of your choice along with half cup minus 2 tablespoon jaggery powder and 1 tablespoon of besan to a grinder mixer. Grind it to powder. I have added peanuts, raisins, almonds, cashew nuts in these cookies, making them power packed. So make sure that you add these ingredients. Make sure you add these nuts. They will add crispness, crunch, and of course nutrition to the recipe. Take nuts and seeds of choice. I have taken cashews, almonds and raisins along with berries. Next add little amount of half teaspoon or 1/4 teaspoon of cocoa powder, little amount of jaggery powder, half teaspoon of ghee and little salt, and mix it well. Mix it and set it aside. This will prevent them from burning in the oven. So set them aside. Now we need half 1/4 cup of solid ghee. Remember, you always use solid ghee in my cookie recipes without baking powder and soda. Mix it with the jaggery mix and whip.
Salt, black salt.
Next we'll be adding 1/4 teaspoon of black salt. I have used black salt. You may use any salt, common salt as well. Now I have added 1 tablespoon curd. Some people often ask me that they don't want to use curd in their bakes, in cookies. So I have used 1 tablespoon of curd in these cookies to bind them. If you don't want to use curd, you may replace curd with 1 tablespoon of milk. Otherwise, if you don't add any liquid in this recipe, these cookies will be more like melt in mouth naan katais. So if you want them like crispy cookies, make sure you add at least 1 tablespoon of liquid to the recipe. Now whip it together. Whip 1 tablespoon of hung curd or thick curd along with the creamed mix. Whip it really well so that it is completely incorporated. And do check my cookie baking basics for beginners for healthy cookie recipes without baking powder and soda and without maida and refined sugar. If you want to get a hack of how I bake without baking powder and soda. Next add all the nuts. I have also used peanuts here. So to bake with maida, because maida is only empty calories, then I have a solution. We can bake with oats and whole grains and still get excellent results in our bakes. So learn with me how to bake no maida or empty calorie cookies without maida, without plain refined sugar, and still get excellent results. And of course, I don't use baking powder or soda in my cookie recipes. You may find baking powder or soda in some of my digestive recipes, but not in normal cookies. So learn with me how to bake cookies without baking powder and soda. I've used instant oats in this recipe, but if you don't have instant oats, they are unsweetened, they are plain oats actually. So if you don't have instant oats, you may use rolled oats instead. Now we'll be adding 1 cup plus 1/4 cup of oats. These are instant oats, as I have already said, and you need to mix everything together and do not knead. And I have used 240 ml cup. Now at this stage, preheat oven air fryer OTG convection to 160 degrees for 10 minutes and add 1/4 cup of besan or chickpea flour, and then you will need to make lime sized balls and press them gently with your palms. Look at this. Press them gently so that they are flattened, and bake properly in the oven, air fry, convection, OTG, whatever, in wherever you are baking them. Bake for 10 to 12 minutes or more at 160 degrees Celsius. And remember, timing varies from one machine to another. You can check if they have turned golden crisp and have crisped up. Many of you ask me, how long does a cookie stay good? Homemade cookies stay good, especially the one that we make with liquids. Well, in my case, I bake very small batches, as I always say. However, there is someone, Shruti Rustogi, who lives in the US, I guess, and she bakes bigger batches from my cookies, and they stay good for at least a month. She bakes them for a month in advance, and she says they stay good for longer, at least for a month. So that's a good surprise. So I suggest, if you bake a big batch of cookies, then I suggest dividing them into 2 or 3 separate containers and opening one at a time. Once you finish one, then you can start with the second one. So that will ensure that your cookies stay fresh for longer.